Okay. Okay, Facebook. I'm hoping everyone will be able to find me again. I'm telling you, this is a good lesson. I guess, man, the devil just don't want you all to hear this lesson. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm hoping everyone will be able to find me. I'm going to put it on Facebook. I'm back on. It's kind of crazy, but hey, what is the lesson? Okay, we talking about the lesson right now, being able to dance to a different tune when things happen that we don't have no control over. Okay, Bible study is back on. Okay, as everyone come in, thank you. Okay, thank you, cousin. Man, I'm telling you, this is a good lesson. Okay, let's go. All right, you all. So I'm just dive right in. We talking about when the beat goes on and life has a rhythm, and we just have to learn how to dance. And guess what? I guess we was just getting a little taste right then and there, making a pivot point. You got to know how to, what they say, bob and weave and continue to move on. And so, music, you all, has a beat, and life has a pattern of joy, struggle, growth, rest, and renewal. And so when we walk with God, we learn to move with his rhythm. Thank you. I'm glad everybody found me. Okay, back on. I was like, okay, Lord, this lesson here, everybody is going to gain something from it. And let me just tell you, instead of going against the grain when it comes to God, it would be better to move with him. Okay, if you need somebody in your corner at any given time, man, as your dance partner, Jesus is the best partner. Okay, and so we know, you all, as we go through things in life, we know we're going to have some ups and we're gonna have some downs. Okay, we're gonna have some struggles. And nobody, don't let nobody sit up here and fool you and tell you that they live in a perfect life. They are telling a story. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what else they saying, but for sure, you know, yes, thank you. Everybody found me. Okay, I see people are coming on. Praise and worship has a beat also. Absolutely. And that is one of the things that we'll be talking about with the question my play mom Paula had mentioned. Okay. Life has a flow. You are not stuck, even when things feel hard. Did y'all hear that? Even when things feel hard and you feel like nothing is moving, the universe, I'm telling you, is still moving. Okay. Hello, everyone. All right. Sabrina, come on in. We talking about as the beat goes on. Okay. We're going to definitely move and dance with God's beat. And like we had going on just a few minutes ago, a hiccup, whatever the case may be, you see that still move. Okay. Don't let that last result be like your end result. It's just a temporary moment. Temporary. See, we had a perfect example. Temporary, it happened, and guess what? We back on, and God's word is moving forward. Like we said, we coming from Breaking Through Barrier Ministry with Pastor Shireen and Maurice Hicks. All right, you all. I want to make a point with you. Some seasons are fast and exciting, and others are slow and challenging. And I'm telling you, as things come about in my life, I try to just take deep breath, you all, because some things we just don't, hello, as people come in, some things we just don't have no control over. Okay. All we can do, especially you all, when you have to deal with other people, circumstance, and situation, and you only can control yourself. Okay. I'm telling you, I'm great. Someone asking me how I'm doing. I'm great. I hope you blessed as well. So we're going to discuss about one of the questions I'm going to throw out is what season of life do you feel you are currently in? And what do you think God may be teaching you during this season? So I'm going to name the seasons for you all. And you tell me by typing in if you feel like you in the planting season, if you are in the growing season, if you are in the waiting season, or if you are in the harvest season. And then I'll be able to tell you all, as you write your answers in, I'll be able to tell you what season I am in. Okay? As I see the answers come on, then I'll tell you what season, growing season. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so people are stating what season: planting, growing, waiting, or harvesting. As the answers come in, I'm telling you now, I'm in the waiting season. There's some things that I've been asking God, and you all, when you are depending on other people, um, you got to learn patience. Okay. I see a lot of people say they in the growing season as they come on. Waiting season, okay, cousin Nika, I'm in the reaping season. Okay, all right, all right. I had said with myself the waiting season because that's a time when God is preparing me for what's the next. Okay, so that's why I said waiting season for me, because I know that there is another level. I know that there is man, I ain't even touched the surface, okay, on the things, okay, that God has. I see Sabrina said it as well. So I'm just learning to be patient. I'm asking for God to have mercy, endurance, all of that. Because some things I'm in the resting season. Okay, okay. I see my sister Tasha said resting season. Okay. I see people mentioning that they worship God. This is the season that they will be spending more time with Him. I'm telling you that faith, and endurance, no matter what move we have, we gotta ask God for some strength in things that we to happen in our life. Okay, and the things that's going on in our life, whether we are in whatever, and trusting God's rhythm. Ecclesiastic, we will be talking about well. We're going to talk about the book of Proverbs 3 and 5 through 6. And I want to get into just asking the questions as everybody, because I was like, okay, I need to get as much as I can in. Why do you think it can be difficult to trust God? I know that prayer definitely needs to be there. Meditation definitely needs to be there. Rest and worship needs to be a part. And the one thing, you all, you need to be surrounded by people who can encourage you. Okay, did y'all hear that? Be surrounded by people who can encourage you instead of tearing you down. Okay. Yes, Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, 5 through 6. Okay. We got Philippians, the 3rd chapter, 13 through 14. And as we go through, I'll be able to give you more of the verses, because we want to learn from our past seasons too, you all. We don't want no repeats. Okay. So we definitely, with Proverbs 3, 5, and 6, sometimes we feel that it may be a delay in an answer because it's unexpected. We're not sure how the outcome is going to be. We're not even sure sometimes, you all, what directions to even go in. So sometimes the delay will be there because of things that is outside of our control. And that's pretty much because we may feel like we don't have the control. And that's understandable. But you know, we know fear and faith can't live together, you all. Okay. They just do not go coincide together at all. If we're going to have faith in God, then that's one thing. But if we're going to turn around and have fear, that is not a that's not of God. If we are asking him for something, have you all ever came across, and I know sometimes you all, these things can happen when we have past hurts in our life or past disappointments. Okay. But if you ever came across just a person that is always talking negative, you know, I don't care what's going on in their life, they just don't have nothing good to say. And I'm telling you, not living with or having faith. And remember, we're talking about when the beat goes on. Okay, you're gonna need to be able to turn to God. You're gonna be able to need for some directions. That is just the way this life goes. Okay, don't let nobody tell you any different, because that's how life goes. And we was talking about surrounding yourself around people who are positive, okay, or at least can give you some instructions without downing you, okay. And don't let somebody just tell you something about yourself and you know that's not true, okay. So we learning from our past seasons. We don't want to keep repeating those seasons that we not growing in, okay. Man, we do not. Okay. Ooh, freedom from, I want to read this question. How can letting go of past mistakes or disappointments help us move forward in God's plan? You all, we got to free ourselves from guilt and shame. I don't know who that is or who that's for, but we have to free ourselves from guilt and shame. We are worthy. Okay? If somebody ever told you you are not worthy, I am here to tell you that you are a child of the Most High. Okay? And you are worthy. Clarity for God's directions. You all, and we got to get a hold of our emotional, being emotional, and we need spiritual healing. Okay, I come across so many people that just be working off their emotions. Stop giving people the secret to your heart. Okay, did y'all hear that? Stop giving the people the secret to your heart. People will come up to me all the time, and I could be having a bad day. I'm telling you, it could be a day. And they be like, Miss Shawty, how you doing? Great. Because the one thing, first of all, I know the person who could help me is Jesus Christ. But I'm not about to sit up here and have a pity party with just anybody. And I want them to be able to see, even though they do see, may see some struggles or whatever, but they gonna see that I am moving forward and trusting God. They're not gonna see me in a pity party. I'm just telling you, people sometimes, you all, they get off on you being stuck. Okay. People just have a good time. Thank you. As you come on, we talking about the beast goes on. Okay. Life has a rhythm. I see people are chiming in, but our thing is trusting God's timing. Okay. And sometimes we could just go through things in life and we just don't have no control of it. And that's fine. That's fine. But when you need some answers, the person to go to is Jesus. Okay. I'm wonderful. And you absolutely, absolutely. Now, Psalms 37:23 said, what practical things can we do daily to stay in step with God's direction for our lives? We can start the day with a prayer. We can read scriptures, and we can keep a journal, write things down. I believe things definitely happen when we write them down. We can seek God counseling, godly counsel. You all with mentors, pastors, or spiritual friends, you all, but be careful when I'm just saying, you, I'm gonna put it out there. Be careful who you share thoughts with. Okay, make sure that they line up with Christ as well. You don't want to be shaking hands with the devil. I'm just saying, when you sitting up there and you thinking there's somebody for you, and secretly behind you, they're talking down everything that you're doing. Be careful, okay? Um, just act in small steps. As long as you keep moving, that's the thing. Keep moving. And so, okay, remember this, you all. Every moment has purpose, even the hard ones. Did y'all hear me? Every moment has purpose, even when you're going through something. Yes, Cherry, I see you. Even when you're going through something, there is a purpose in it. You may not be able to see it now, but you all, I catch myself when things be happening and I be like, whoa. But later on, I'll be like, okay, that's why that had to happen. Okay. And yes, people do be plotting against you. I'm just telling you, those ones that smile in your face, all that. Okay. Just keep dancing. Okay. Y'all keep dancing. Make your own rhythm. Trust God through every beat. Okay. And you can find that Proverbs 3rd chapter, 5th through the 6th verse. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. That means trust God fully, not halfway, not only when it's easy, and include God in everything. It's just easier, you all. It's just easier to include God in everything, especially your successes, and especially when you know that he had the biggest part in it. Okay. Key point, you all, I want us to remember. Sometimes life rhythm doesn't make sense, but trusting God keeps us in step with his plan. Remember that key point. Sometimes life doesn't make sense, but remember, God sees what we can't see. Remember that. Trust him. Trust him. I know I trust him. I tell him all the time, you all, he's all I got. And I mean that when I say it. I definitely tell him, Lord, you all I got. Stay steady even when life changes. I know you all, it's hard. I wouldn't be sitting here trying to make up that everything that you're gonna come up that's gonna come against you is gonna be easy. It's not. Okay. I'm not that sister in Christ to sit up here and tell you that everything that comes your way is going to be easy to handle. But one thing I can sit up here and tell you, you put God first and you trust him and ask God to order your steps. I promise you, you will make it through. Think of a time, you all, that you went through some stuff and you really didn't see how you were going to get through it. We standing right here now. I'm telling you now, you got through it. And I'm sure you could think of a time when you ain't know how a bill was gonna get paid. Okay? You didn't know how it's gonna get paid. You didn't know. I know it's been time. I didn't know what my next meal was gonna be. I'm just telling y'all the truth. Okay? And I'm telling you through all of that, made it through. And I know it's the grace of God. Okay, so keep dancing with God. Okay, keep moving with him. Faith keeps us in step with God as well. And we know for one thing for sure, we can definitely depend on faith. We can rely on faith. The bottom line, you all, through all of this, is don't quit. Do you hear me? Do not quit. Even I know you all, I had got to the, you all, I got close. Ooh, I got close and I was like, Lord, I know you won't put more on me than I can bear, but I promise you, your daughter, I'm about to I ain't gonna be able to make it through, Lord. And I promise you, at that one time, well, like with the movie, it say when you get close, okay, don't faint because on the other side, you right there. Oh my goodness, you are right there. Just don't faint. Live with eternal purpose. Okay. Sometimes you all, and some people, they may not know what their purpose is or what their gifts are or what they supposed to be doing. But for those individuals, don't knock the person who God had gave them their directions and they know what they're supposed to be doing in their life. Sometimes when people don't have things still lined up, they can down you or try to down you. Okay, but let them know you living with an eternal purpose. You know the purpose that God had put you on this earth. Okay, so you all, this is a good one. Jesus Christ does not change in his character, his power, or his promises. I have a question for you. Do we change in our character and our promises? And I'm going to let y'all ponder on that for a minute. Because when again, that the only person that is perfect is Jesus. So do we make some promises sometimes we can't keep? Yeah. It may not be something that we try not to do, but once again, sometimes it's some things we just don't have no control over, and we may have to break that promise. Now, do we change our character sometimes? Yes, we do. It depends on who ruffle our feathers, or it also depends on season. Okay. Unfortunately, sometimes when people are ill and they're going through illness, character changes. Okay. Sometimes when we don't know how ends gonna meet, character changes. So I'm just throwing some out there where our character may change, and knowing that promises may go out there, and no, it's not our intention to not keep the promise, but sometimes it happens. Do we when given authority and leader position, do we abuse our power? Sometimes we do. You all, this is called keeping it real. Okay. Sometimes people can't handle certain power. Okay. And I'm sure we have came across some individuals that can't handle certain powers. I'm sure we have had some supervisors, you and had some co-workers, you have had some friends, and it just when you give them a little power, it just goes over and beyond. Okay, they just can't handle it. They either too bossy, or it's just something about them that I, they just not friendly. All that plays a part. Okay, so dance to the beat of your heart, to the rhythm of your pulse, move to the music of your soul. I like that quote. Okay. Once again, we talking about when the beat goes on. Okay. Keep moving. I also want to read this key point to you. Even when life gets difficult, the beat goes on. We must continue moving forward when we don't know how things are going to be paid, when we don't know how things are going to get resolved. Keep moving. God gives us strength for the journey. Book of Isaiah 40 chapter and 31st verse. God lifts us above our struggles. I know sometimes you all, it may not seem like it may not feel like it, but every time you're going to come across someone that is actually going through something worse than you are. And sometimes it puts you in perspective. I used to complain about some things, and then when I would come across individual and they share with their stories, I'd be like, I ain't got nothing to complain about. I'd be like, Shawnee, you might as well be quiet, girl, because yours ain't on that level at all. So you might as well just hush up. And that's what I did. Moments when you may feel tired, discouraged, or overwhelmed. Okay. Key point to remember is when you get tired in life's rhythm, God renews our strength. Just remember that when you get tired. And a key thought is even when we feel weak, God keeps the rhythm of our life going. Y'all know that the earth and the time don't stop just because we're going through stuff. I know everybody on this thread knows that. And so we know that the beat goes on. So we know we got to keep moving or life will pass you by. Okay? Moving on, you all. And we talked about what helps you stay in rhythm with God when life feels out of sync. We talked about praying, meditating, going to mentors. Isaiah 47, what's the verse? Okay. Okay, Isaiah is the 40th chapter, the 31st verse. Okay. And I'm glad that you all are writing these verses down because when we go through some stuff or when things come our way, these are some things that we will be able to help us to get or to carry on or get to the next level or to be able to move on. And so I got a lesson for us this week or the remaining of this week. I want you all to spend some time praying, getting it in, or reading some scriptures out the Bible. Okay? Yes. Thank you, Nika, for that. She had gave that. I want us to definitely spend some time doing that this week. So we're going to do something new. And it's called Faith Declaration. And I'm hoping that you all will be able to type it in. After I read my part, I'm going to tell you what I need for you to type in. We're going to do some faith declarations. We're going to call those things out, especially those things that you've been asking God for. We're going to help move the universe. Okay, we're going to all be on one accord. So I'm going to start off with today we declare that our lives are in God's hands. I need for you all to type in God orders my steps and directs my path. I'm going to read that again because I need for you guys to type this in. We asking God for some stuff. God orders my steps and direct my path. Now I'm going to read, even when life changes and season shifts, I need for you all to type in, I trust God's timing and his plan for my life. I'm going to read it again. What I need for you all to type in. Absolutely. I trust God's timing and his plan for my life. And when you get a chance, if you sitting up, yes, if you sitting up here and you are writing them down, I just want, man, I just want us to have this faith declaration because we are asking God for some stuff. So I'm trusting God's timing and his plan for my life. Absolutely. So I'm going to read. When I feel tired or discouraged, this is what I need for you all to type. God renews my strength and helps me move forward. I want us to type in, God renews my strength and helps me move forward. Now I'm going to read, no matter what season I face, this is what I need for you all to type in. I will stay in faith and walk with God. I want you all to type, I will stay in faith and walk with God. And I'm going to read, because God is guiding my life. And this is what I need for you all to type in. The beat goes on. I'm going to read for you all to type in. The beat goes on. And the last declaration, because God is guiding my life. And this is what I need for y'all to type in. The beat goes on. If you could type that in for me, the beat goes on. And then I'm going to read this because I want you all to know life won't always move to your rhythm, but you can always choose how you dance with it. Okay? Okay. I like these. I'm just meditating on this. If you ever come across some individual, you all, let them know life is not a race. It's a rhythm that we all got to find our own beat. Okay? Notice I didn't say that you're going to be moving with the beat of others, but we all must find our own beat. Okay? The beat goes on. Okay? And look, when you're going through some stuff, I don't even care if you find yourself that you're going through some things and you be like, you know what, Lord, I know that the beat goes on. I'm going to keep moving forward with faith. When things come your way, when people come your way, okay, keep moving. Do not get stuck. Despite how the situation may look, despite how you may feel, because remember, you all, okay, we're not trying to, thank you, cousin. I like that, the declaration, okay, the faith declaration. We put that out in the atmosphere. Okay. And when God gave me that, I was like, yes. I was like, okay, I'm going to have your people to write it down. Okay. Because we claiming some things. We looking for some change in our life. We looking for, look, getting off that two-step. Okay. We want to dance to another tune. Okay. And so in my closing, because I was like, oh, Lord, this is powerful. But I said, I must read this to you all because I want us to walk away as winners. We all are winners in this thing. Okay. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. We are winners. We're going to go through some things and we're going to come through on the other side. And even though we're going through it, look, it's just a part of God's plan. That's the best thing I could tell you. It's a part of the plan. And you don't know that it might be for somebody else. It may not even be for you. You may have somebody do something that they needed the answer for. What's for me is for me. God's timing, rhythm, and beat of our God. Good Lord. Absolutely. Absolutely. So remember this, you all. Life will not always move the way we expect. There will be moments when the rhythm changes, when the pace slows down, and when challenges try to throw us off balance. But one thing remains true: God is faithful through every season. Remember that. God is faithful through every season. Lord, when you grow tired, strengthen us when we feel discouraged. Lift our spirits. Remind us that you are always with us and every season has a purpose. And remember, you all, book of Isaiah 40th chapter, 31st verse reminds us that those who wait on the Lord will renew their strength, renew our minds, our hearts, and our faith so we can continue moving forward with confidence in you, Jesus. Help us to stay in rhythm with your will and to trust that you are directing every step we take, no matter what challenges come. Help us remember that with your leading our lives, we will continue to move forward because the beat goes on. You all, that is my lesson for today. I'm hoping that you be able to reach out to Pastor Shireen and Maurice Hicks and let them know that your beat is changing. If you would like to sow into our ministry, Cash App $BTBM Ministries, but reach out to our pastors and let them know that your beat is changing. You're going to move with Christ, said the Lord, and you're not going to let anything stand in your way. You are going to ask for strength when you need it. But one thing for sure, you are going to keep moving because this beat goes on. I love you all. Pass it on. Let people know when they are going through stuff to lean on Jesus and not their own understanding. I say this with love. Be blessed. Thank you all. Nika, I see very good. I see my play mom. The beat goes on. All right, you all. I love you much. Let's get moving. Let's go. Okay? Let's get moving. See you later as the beat goes on. Yes, Lord.